Hey you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. On this topic, you guys, we are going to be discussing narcissistic neighbors. Narcissistic neighbors. I know you guys have some. I know you guys hear them. I know you see them. So the reason I wanted to do this follow-up video is because a couple of years ago I made you guys a video on the copycat narcissistic neighbor. I think that's what the video was called. But these are the early signs of what you're about to experience. See, they copy what you do. These are people that maybe they don't even keep up with their yard, and now they see you they see you in your garden. They start copying the same things, the identical things that you're doing. They're doing the exact same things with their home that you've already done. They're trying to keep up with you, right? You're not competing with these people. You're not paying attention to these people. At first, they might seem friendly. You might say hi to them. But then you'll start noticing the copycat behavior. You'll start noticing that they're always watching. You'll start noticing that there's always someone watching their home. You'll start seeing that things are going missing in your property, or these people might be throwing trash. Maybe sometimes your trash bucket goes missing and you have to call the city and pay $100, and you're like, things just start happening. There's noise that's unexplained. There's cameras, drones being flown over your house. These people, now it seems like every time you're outside, they're outside, Then, sometimes they'll ask, they'll ask for a favor. Narcissists go straight for the kill sometimes. Hey, can I leave my car in front of your house for a couple of weeks? It doesn't work. So they'll try to step on your toes, but they're just testing you out to see if they can exploit you. You say no to them, and now they've switched. You'll start to see that their whole thing was to try to get a perception of you, to try to get to know, to have an idea of who you are. By then, now they start exploiting the situation. Now it feels like you can't, sit on your porch. You can't go to your backyard. Now it feels like you can't do anything outdoors. Now your hobbies, planting and being in your garden isn't fun anymore because you're being watched. So now you stay indoors, and now these people are constantly outdoors. They're constantly listening in. They're constantly watching and talking to your company, anyone that comes over. What makes these narcissistic neighbors so hard to live with is that that they're narcissists because they know when to put the mask on. When you have narcissistic neighbors and these people are taking over your it's almost like they're in your ear all day. It's almost like you can hear them hearing you. They surround you, they invade your space, they invade your home, but they wouldn't like it if you did it to them. They wouldn't like it if you just went on the side of your gate and just stood there all day. You almost feel like you're afraid to talk. You're afraid to have conversations. You're afraid to say certain things because you feel like someone is listening in on you, When it comes to narcissistic neighbors, you guys, you're going to have two types of narcissistic neighbors. Why do I have to break this down to you guys, and why is it so important? If you're not aware of your surroundings, if you're not aware of your neighbors, what kind of people they are, back in the day, people used to introduce themselves, wave, kind of wave, say hi. But we don't live in those times anymore, clearly, right? You can't go in and borrow a cup of sugar, a cup of milk. We're not living in those times. But, the reason people used to get to know each other, it was to build a community, right? To have each other's backs in case something goes on. And basically, there's always that one person in the block that's the neighborhood watch, the person that watches everything, the person that knows everything. Sometimes that person is, someone who is gossipy, or sometimes that's someone who, might be retired. Maybe they work from home. Some of those people, that are basically like the neighborhood watch, they're involved in the community sometimes. Sometimes they're involved in church work. Sometimes they're involved in, different programs, and they work with the city council or the police. They have good relationships with certain people in high places, and or they've been in that area for a very long time, and their families have grown up in those homes, and these people have seen people move in, people move out, and some of these people have lived for in these residents for a very long time, 10, 20, 30 years, and they know people around the neighborhood that have also lived there for a very long time. But a lot of times the person that watches everything could be a narcissist, right? But this isn't the person that you need to watch out for. See, this person might be nosy. This person might want to know your business. Some of these people might be a little bit of, gossipy. And some of them, are copycats, and they're keeping up with the Joneses. They're in a competition with you. They're copying everything you do. And, these type of narcissists, they're not dangerous. A lot of times these are not the people that are going to break into your house. These sometimes are people who are lonely. They're walking their dogs. They're the ones who are watching altercations. Most of the time, they might not get involved. But this is the person that knows everything, but this isn't the person that is dangerous. This is someone that might get on your nerves. You're like, oh, this is, I have a narcissistic neighbor. She's not really that free. She might not be that friendly, and that's okay. But for the most part, these are people that if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. With these type of people, it's like you can trust to know who your enemy is, but at the same time, you can't trust who they know. They'll get the hint. They might come off trying to get to know you and pursue a relationship with you, but they'll give up. They'll just keep living their life. These are people that just want to have something to talk about. And like I said, you have two types of narcissists. This is type 1, type A, right? Type B, type 2 are going to be the dangerous narcissists that you have to watch out for. These are people who, there's people in and out of their house all day, all night. These are people that are constantly outside. Like if it's raining, snowing, these people are outside, and you'll think to yourself, like, isn't this person cold? Or, it's raining outside. What is this person doing? And it's like they're in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, just swinging off trees and working on cars. And some of these narcissists, have addictions. Some of them have addictions to drugs. Some of them are into prostitution. Some of them are into human trafficking. And sometimes some of these people, you'll see that there's no children living there. It's just a whole bunch of men or women. And it seems like they're having parties almost every single night. It's almost like they're living in another world, right? And you can clearly see it. You're like, oh, we're living in two completely different worlds. I get it. You have endless time. You don't know who you are. And the only way for you to feel some type of validation is by having people around, because it gives you an identity. It gives you a personality, even if these personalities are very chameleon like, because it's like whoever you're bringing over, that's who you're becoming. And you'll see that, these people will multiply, and it'll just be so many narcissists, to where, like I said, it's very noisy. It's almost like they're living in this world where time doesn't exist, right? When you're in the narcissist world, time doesn't exist, holidays don't exist. And you know that because you've been there. The narcissist has brought you down to a very low frequency, so you can see the low frequency and the dynamic, and why these people think the way they think, why they get together the way they get together, the way they don't see anything wrong with their actions, slamming doors, stomping around. When there are children around, the children are always crying. The children are not being supervised. If the children are being supervised, they're being supervised with a whole bunch of women drinking, a whole bunch of men drinking. It's like party every single day. This is what we do. There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone has a good time. Everyone, has a drink every day. And, that's normal stuff people do when they get off work and so forth, right? But the thing about these people is that they lack common sense. They lack common respect, etiquette. They do not give you privacy. They don't understand the principalities of how people pay bills and taxes, and how your home is the only place that is safe. And even though it's not fully safe, this is your safe haven. This is the place that you go to, that you feel like you cannot be touched, right? We live in a world where now there's no communities, so everyone is out for themselves. No one is looking out for their neighbors anymore. Everyone is for themselves. Everyone's putting cameras on their homes. Everyone is watching out for narcissists. But what happens when the narcissist is your neighbor? What happens when you're watching out for these people, but these people live on your street? You're trying to protect yourself from society and these narcissists that are everywhere. And you feel like, you know what, I have to be careful about who I bring to my home, right? I have to be critical about these things. I need to know who's in and out. I need to make sure who I bring into my home is someone I can trust, someone I feel like they won't do something. And I say this because I've had situations when I was younger where I'm inviting someone, and this is a friend, and I'm telling myself, oh, I have my first apartment. I'm not allowing any boys in, any men, because I'm young, and, I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression or try to do something to me. So, you'll tell yourself, I'm only inviting female friends and stuff like that. And then you're dealing with a narcissistic person. And now this narcissistic person tells her boyfriend that you're living on your own, and now her boyfriend and his narcissistic friends are breaking into your house. They know the whole layout. They're coming to steal, thief. And then your friend is just pretending like she doesn't know what's going on. She has nothing to do with it. She's acting like she's surprised, but then you're trying to navigate why don't you actually feel the emotion of empathy coming out of that person? You almost feel like that person's like, oh, that's crazy, dang, but there's something off. And then you'll ignore it thinking there's no way, that doesn't add up, that's not the type of person this person is. And years later, you'll find, in my experience, then you'll find out, oh, it was that friend why, why couldn't I see that back then? But at the same time, these experiences help you pay attention to detail. So the reason it's important, to know who you have in your house and your neighborhood is because you'll have narcissists from your past or people who know your narcissistic neighbors. And these people will get together. Their energies will intertwine with one another, and and the narcissist will be attracted to people that you don't find pleasant. And these people will conspire against you. And I'm telling you, it's like a small world where these people will be connected to your neighbors. These experiences are what makes you realize that your home is something that you should really protect at all costs. Even when you allow, narcissist or you move in with the narcissist, when you're involved with these people, these are the type of people that, if they're messing with a new supply, they'll bring the new supply to your home. The ultimate disrespect, So when it comes to your home, most people know that children and people's homes are off limits. We live in a crazy world, and most people with manners, with etiquette, most people with morals, they know children and people's homes are off limits. You invade someone's house, you're asking to be killed. But what these narcissists will do is they'll do something to you, right? Just like in the real world, they'll come into your home and you're trying to defend yourself, and they'll do something to you even though they're the ones coming to mess with you, violating you in your own home where you sleep, where you're supposed to be peaceful. These are the type of people that will work on cars and make noise all day and night. And the moment you're having you're selling Girl Scout cookies or something, they're calling the city on you for distributing cookies. So when a narcissistic neighbor gets you back, their way of getting you back is through things that really don't make sense, things that don't really add up. When you say something to them, it's actually something that makes sense. You working on cars 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, there's something wrong with that. When the whole street is quiet and it's just you outside racking it up, Once you tell these people, hey, I have to work, I can't sleep, they'll keep doing it. They'll ignore you. And this is what people have the most problems with when you're dealing with narcissistic neighbors, is that they're not considerate of others at all. And if you tell them something, they're like, okay, I'm going to have louder sex now, So it's a turn on to them, it's giving them fuel, toxic energy is fuel to them. So these people don't care if you're family people. These people don't care if you have kids. These people do not care about your peace. To them, it's like they're living in a circus, and you're giving them a show when you give them energy. I'm someone who, I spent most of my time indoors, but if I spend time outdoors, I'm definitely not going to be, making noise. I'm going to be meditating, reading, being productive in something. I might throw something on the grill, family things. And I remember having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about, one of my nephews, doing a lemonade stand. And I'm like, that's a good thing so that he can, know how to work and count money. And, it's a very productive thing as a kid. And the neighbor goes, that's what we're trying to do. That's why we fix cars late at night. So meanwhile, while I'm with this person, I was trying to be quiet while I was talking. I was like, I don't want no one to hear me. I had already processed what type of people they are. And the moment they said something, that's when I knew I was right and they had been listening in. Narcissistic neighbors will make your life hell because they don't process information or see things the way we do, the way we do things out of respect for others and things like that. It's not in their nature. To them, it's like you're saying something bad about them, like you're attacking them. They don't see anything wrong with their actions. Narcissists are the type of people that if you get into an argument with them, they'll come to your doorsteps trying to fight you and things like that. So your home is your sanctuary, but the narcissist does not respect that. The narcissist does not have any morals. The narcissist will prey on you. So if they see, oh, you're, living on your own, they'll feel like they can block your driveway. They'll feel like, they can make noise all day, all night because they feel like, you don't have children. Or even if you do, the narcissist is living in their own world, meaning that they're not thinking of the fact that they're being so loud that your children are waking up in the middle of the night, and there's no way possible that they should even be this loud. There's no purpose for them to be this loud. But it's almost like they like noise, and then they sleep at certain times, and you start catching on like, oh, this is the only time they're quiet, and they're not really quiet for too long. But if you retaliate and you start doing to them what they've been doing to you the whole time, it's not going to end well. Because narcissists do not like it when you do to them what they've been doing to you. In their mind, they didn't do anything to you. In their mind, if you ask them out of respect as a neighbor not to do something, in their mind, what you said doesn't mean anything. And if they violate you, they feel like, hey, they just violated you. And if you get angry at them, some of them might retaliate and some of them might just ignore you. You're trying to tell them, hey, I told you not to do this. Can you please not do it? They'll just ignore you like you don't even exist because they're feeding off of your energy. They know that it's bothering you. They know that they're crossing the line. The narcissist neighbor wants you to look like the narcissist. They want you to feel guilty, shame for being angry. You'll get to the point where you'll be like, man, I hate these people. Like, I hate them. Like, I don't even think I've ever hated anyone. You'll get to that point and you'll be like, am I the narcissist? Because now I really hate them. But that's what they try to do. It's like when you're in a relationship with a narcissist and they try to get you to feel guilty, or you fight with them and then you don't feel good about yourself, and then you're just like, why am I fighting with this person? So you start feeling those type of feelings, and you'll start to think that it's you until you speak to other neighbors who also feel like you. That verifies that you're not crazy, right? But the thing is, human beings, animals are territorial when it comes to their homes. So this is our human instinct, is to protect our homes. It's not narcissism. It's them who are crazy. But it gives them fuel because now they have something to talk about with their narcissistic friends and the people that don't have any lives, their cult, the people that they're into a lot of times illegal things with. A lot of times these people are selling drugs, and to them it's like, it doesn't matter if I'm cranking up my motorcycle all day, all night. It doesn't matter if I'm having people in and out and we're talking and we're being loud, and it doesn't matter if I'm blocking your driveway sometimes. Who cares? Just very disrespectful type of people. And if you say something to them, what they do is that this gives them something to talk about to make themselves look like a victim, right? The narcissist always has to victimize themselves, so they'll start to say that you're crazy, something's going on with you, right? And so forth. A lot of times there's that narcissistic person, the narcissistic neighbor A, the one I told you about, who knows everything and who's been around for years sometimes. So what happens is that there'll be two narcissists, and the one that's been there, who's the neighborhood watch, will not like the person that is the lower grade narcissist, that has no common sense, that just starts violating you more, gossiping to their friends. Now their friends have something to talk about. Their friends want to give them words of encouragement. Their friends are narcissistic as well, so they're trying to use these situations for them to feel closer to these people. They want to build a bond. These are things that are helping these narcissists bond together, meaning that now they're telling each other that they have each other's backs. But a lot of times, if all these narcissists are coming out of nowhere, going directly to this narcissistic neighbor's house, this lets you know that these narcissistic neighbors, they're not going to these people's homes. All these people they bring to their homes, they're never going to visit them. These people are coming, dumping, leaving dumps all over their yards, leaving their mess, their drama, their energy all over the place, all over the streets. They're leaving their low frequency. They're just dumping all over the street. They're bringing trailers, they're leaving their dogs to leave messes everywhere. They even send their dogs to your yard to pee and poop. I've seen it happen where I've seen neighbors that don't get along, and then I see one neighbor let their dog out, and you could tell they're purposely doing it. I'm telling you, I've had people bring nasty parts out of me where they're like, hit me. I'm like, okay, boop, and I felt good at the moment, and later on, I'm really like, that's what they wanted, that's what they wanted. They want to get you in trouble. They want to get you locked up, thank God, everyone knew that they were trash, and probably happy that I did that. But just like if you get into it with a narcissist in a relationship and they get their family members to fight you, or your friends set you up with other people to scheme on you, these people are scheming on you, and guess what? You defend yourself, they don't stop coming for you. So this is why you have to be careful with narcissistic neighbors. That lets you know that the people that they get around with are lower than them. And this is what gives those people fuel. But because they don't have anything to entertain these people with, they'll use neighbors and people who are fed up with their behavior to play the victim. And the reason I say that you need to know, type A and B, the neighborhood watch neighbor and the one that just, they're dumping all over the damn street, right? The reason it's important to know this is because the neighbor that knows everything, who's the neighborhood watch, this person does not like the lower grade narcissist that dumps everywhere. These are the people that will make your life hell, and sometimes you don't know what to do because you'll tell yourself, I've called law enforcement, they've given these people tickets, they don't seem to care. These people just don't pay those tickets back. They hide from the police. These people will break into your home, and get away with it. They do things like this. and you'll be living almost, you'll feel like you're living in hell, because you'll feel like you cannot go on vacation and leave your house unattended. You feel like you can't go anywhere without leaving your home unattended. And what you will notice about these narcissistic neighbors is that they always have someone who is watching their home. It's like it's almost like they're living in a little island in their home. Like their whole house is an island, and then you have nothing but weirdos, and you got this narcissist just watching like a security guard. It's almost like they're afraid of people that are out for them, and then they're holding people hostage, but they're trying to make it seem like they're not, because they're pretending to be their friends, but it's only because they're using them for maybe money, bills, certain things, or using these people, sex, whatever it is. It's like human trafficking going on. It's like a whole jungle going on in there. So you'll feel like, I don't feel safe leaving my house. I don't feel safe traveling. I don't feel safe going out with my family on the weekends anymore. Because they're always watching. So what I realized, because once you say something to these people, or it doesn't matter, it's just going to escalate, because it's going to bring something out of you, because you're going to feel hopeless. It's like when you're in a narcissistic relationship and this person is saying things to you and abusing you, and you're feeling like, yeah, this person did something to me, but I'm just going to let it go, forgive them, move on with my life, right? But it still hurts. The thought still hurts. What these people do is that they leave, all these bad memories. They leave a bad taste in your mouth. And now every time you see them, you'll feel triggered. And you'll feel triggered because first of all, it should have never escalated, but they will escalate things. It will leave a bad taste in your mouth, because narcissists, when they do things to you, when they lie, cheat, and discard you, and then they devalue you, they call you names and treat you badly. When they do these things and they try to hoover you back in, they act like they didn't do those things, right? They act like those things didn't happen. If they apologize, they don't really mean it. When they give you gifts, they don't mean it. What these narcissistic people will do is that they will terrorize you, and then they'll give you a gift. They'll send you some flowers. They'll give you a basket of fruit like they didn't do anything. And you're just like, screw these flowers, screw these fruits, and if you don't interact with them after they felt like, yeah, I made your life hell, but now let's just act like it didn't happen. If you don't accept that, they'll get mad, right? But if you accept it because they'll get mad, then they'll act like everything they've done is forgiven, basically, right? We shouldn't bring it up anymore. Cool. You're cool with that. The thing is that their behavior is not going to change. So that will be like, it will mess with your head, because you're like, I thought they were done, but it will continue, and that way they'll have another story to tell to their flying monkeys, and their story is going to be, look, I tried being nice to this person. Look, I sent them flowers. They accepted them. And look, now they're mad about something. It's like they're trying to build a friendship and be your enemies at the same time. They just basically want to give you a character and a title, and because they don't know you, they want to just they just want to label you as something instead of looking at themselves and saying, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe we are too loud. Why would they be able to hear that? Maybe we shouldn't just be out swinging around at 3 o'clock in the morning looking crazy like a monkey on a tree. Maybe, you know, maybe we shouldn't have people blocking the driveway and doing these things. Maybe we shouldn't party every damn night. And if we do party, we should keep it to ourselves. Maybe we should think to ourselves that there's neighbors and people that have to go to work tomorrow. Maybe we could wait till the weekend. But they don't live in that world. They live in a whole different world. If you pay attention to these people, it's like they're living in a different planet. And you're like, cool, because I'm living in my own little island, right? I just don't want to see. I don't want to see your trash in my island. That's it. We don't have to talk or anything, right? But a lot of times, if you don't have a lot of people behind you, this is why it's important. If you're someone who you don't have a big family, you're on your own, this is why it's important, because these narcissists, they can't be alone. We know that. And when you start issues with people like these, they accumulate more narcissists. So the more you try to defend yourself, the more narcissists will show up, and it'll just be like zombie land, right? They'll just come out of the woodworks. You're like, where are these people coming? And then these people will start harassing you, and they're harassing you and don't know you. They don't live there, and they're just harassing you, right? I've been in situations where I found people watering my car in the middle of the night. And I'm like, why is this person watering my car? Like, you're that jealous, you're that hateful that you're watering don't touch my stuff, basically. So narcissists are known for that. They're known to invade your privacy, invade your space, invade your peace. And in their mind, they are not doing anything. They're like, oh, I forgot all about that, and it's like, I don't have to deal with you people. You're not my I don't even deal with my family on that level. That's stuff that I might have did when I was a kid, like that fighting, and we're cool, or when you're in a narcissistic relationship, you're fighting, but you're fighting for love. You're fighting for people you care about. You don't want to be fighting strangers, and that's what narcissists do. You don't want to fight with narcissists, but these are the type of people that it's like you go to work and you have that narcissistic boss messing with you. It's like they like problems. So what I learned is that if you can't beat them, right, you have to join them. You're not going to want to join trash, those low grade narcissists that are selling drugs and, doing all of this. And, I'm not the type of person to judge anyone in their line of work or anything like that. But real people move in silence, meaning that if they are selling drugs or they're doing certain things, guess what? They're not going to want a whole bunch of people at their house so they can get exposed or get caught or get people that get mad and snitch on them. So when you're dealing with those type of people, this is why those type of low-grade narcissistic neighbors are dangerous, because they're living a life where it's like you don't have nothing to lose. The way you move is very like low budget, So you'll see that these type of people, they're the type of people that, will hurt you and not think about it, not feel any type of way about it. These are dangerous people. These are people that can even kill you. These are people that if you don't get along with them, they'll think about killing you. They'll think about hurting you, because they're living in this cycle, in this, other world. And then It's like you're trying to wake them up from this dream world that they're in. So to them, it's like you become the nightmare, you become the monster in their eyes. They don't have common sense to see or to hear what you're saying. They take things to another level. If you argue with these people or say anything that they feel is a threat to them, they will take it to another level. And then they'll get away with it. And you'll be like, how the hell did they get away with it? Why didn't the police do anything? So why do I say you have to join them? The reason you have to join them is because the only way that you'll be able to defeat a narcissist is with another narcissist. The narcissist that's the opposite from them, the person that has that clean cut yard, they're the neighborhood watch and things like that. Because a lot of times that person, that narcissist, is a perfectionist. That's that grandmother that, she's judging what you're wearing. She's judging people's yards. She knows everyone. She's known in the community. She knows people in high places. So sometimes you have to get allies because these allies will see the things that you see. They're looking at these things and they're like, I'm a narcissist too, but they're a low-grade narcissist. They're the lowest of the low because every time they do something, they're living in their own world. They're not thinking about their surroundings because in their mind, they've already sized you up. To them, they've already sized their immediate surroundings, their immediate neighbors. They've already sized everyone up. They feel like they know what they're up against, so they don't have to worry about you, but they're worried about other people that they wronged. And this is why they always have, watchdogs and, that they don't even treat well, and just people even from the street coming up. They like the fighting, they like the triangulation, they like the back and forth. These are the people that are back and forth with their, baby moms, baby daddies. These are people just arguing, and they're in open relationships at this point. These people are in open relationships at this point, and you can't save them. You cannot train them. You cannot help them. You cannot guide them. Some of these people are old enough to be your grandparents. And you're like, my grandmother, she's old as hell. At nighttime, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, she's laying in bed already. She's doing her prayer. This narcissist over here, he's outside getting drunk, talking loud and reckless, and doesn't care, and he knows there's people sleeping and he doesn't care. He's miserable. He wants to make other people miserable. This lady's not normal. This guy is not normal. So when it comes to narcissistic neighbors, there's always going to be human trafficking. There's going to be underage people. It's going to be people selling drugs. It's going to be people just being noisy, working on cars all day, all night. And it's like they're not fixing nothing. Fake mechanics, people on motorcycles just ramping stuff up, other people getting together, coming here, not doing anything, just creating noise, chaos. It doesn't matter if it's raining. You're thinking to yourself, oh, cool, it's a rainy day. It's a rainy day, let's drink some hot chocolate and look out the window. And then you look out the window, and this person's just sitting there on the rain, and you're like, wow, this person, I get it. We all like nature and stuff like that. But it's not like these people sit in nature and are peaceful people. They're sitting in nature with their music on blast. They need attention. They need someone to look at them. They're looking at the cars on the street, looking at them, they're sitting there studying everyone around. And the moment someone goes on vacation, the moment someone goes to work, they're planning on robbing you. They're planning on breaking into your home. And this is why, even though we live in a world that most people are not nice to their neighbors, it's still nice to get to know that person that you know looks like a sweet person, looks like they'll talk back to you, and they keep to themselves for the most part. It's good to even that person who might be the neighborhood watch, because at least if you can find someone that you've observed them for a while and you know that they're quiet, you've seen them and you're like, these people keep to themselves. I like them. They're like me. I keep to myself. Sometimes it's good to connect with these people, because if you're on your own and you're a woman, these narcissistic men that are living in a dog pound together, they will jump on you. They will try to abuse you just because they know you're on your own, and then try to get away with it. And because sometimes, like I said, narcissists don't like being alone, and they're in groups and packs. They try to destroy you because they have a pack of wolves. They have a pack of wolves, so they try to destroy you because they have the whole pack and you're on your own. So they want to use their cult as evidence. They'll have people lie. They'll have their friends lie. They'll tell people certain things that are lies, and then they'll try to antagonize you so that their cult friends and family can believe the lies. They set traps to get a reaction out of you after you've caught them out on something you don't like. Now they try to get a reaction out of you, and they won't stop till they get a reaction out of you so that others can see it. The people around them can see it, and then they pretend like they didn't do anything, and you're just being crazy, right? And it's only you. So of course these people will get together, because it's more of them. They're like, I have more witnesses than you. So this is why it's good to always go to those people in your neighborhood who, keep to themselves. Most likely they know what's going on. They got their eyes on the situation, on the same thing that you're thinking about these people. You'll be surprised that other people feel the same way. They just don't want to say anything. And sometimes because you're closer to these people, they're right next to you. You're like, if I'm going through this, I'm pretty sure other people are annoyed. They just don't want to get involved. But if you go to these people and say, hey, if you ever see anything suspicious, this is my phone number. Can you just let me know? Because these people are very sketchy, and a lot of times you'll be surprised that these people also have the same issues that you're going through. Because trust me, when you're dealing with narcissistic neighbors, you're not going to be the only person that sees these things. These are people that cannot be alone. They're living in a different time zone. Night and day doesn't mean anything to them. They're in and out the house in the middle of the night. Some of them are on drugs. Some of them are, a lot doing wicked things at nighttime. They're going around stealing car parts, stealing gas from people, and they're always up to something. These are people that are always up to something. And trust me, if you have your eye on them, there's other people around your neighborhood that also got their eyes on them. And then what you'll start to see is that people around your neighborhood will start to do things that are unusual, that they usually don't do. So maybe they start double parking their cars so these people stay away from their house. Maybe they start parking on their sidewalk so these people, because they already know these people are loud. They, fighting all the time. There's always something going on with them. And these people just want their privacy. They want their privacy. They want their view to be clear of BS. And you'll start to see that. You'll start to see, my neighbor never parks there. They're parking there because they want those people to get away, because these people are all over the street like roaches, right? So you'll see that, and trust me, if you do, you're not going to regret it, because when something does happen and things do escalate, I'm telling you, these people will try to get you, and because it's more of them, you'll end up getting yourself in some trouble. But if you build relationships with your neighbors, you don't have to befriend these people. Just once you start to see that these people might also be feeling how you might be feeling, you have to wait. You have to literally wait. You have to do things the legal way. You can't be arguing, fighting with these people. You got to do things the legal way. That's the only way it's going to shut them up. You go back and forth with them, they're going to look at you like they're friends. They fight with their friends. They fight with their girlfriends, boyfriends, and make up. You got to let them know you're not that person you're just going to keep making up with. I'm not that person you're going to walk over. I don't even want to deal with you. I don't even want to talk to you. So you do things the legal way, and then you build relationships with people, because by then, trust me, it's a long process, but by then, you'll start to see that certain neighbors will start doing certain things. They'll start putting more cameras, you'll start to see that they're parking certain cars, they're putting alarm system. You'll start to see that they're putting gates up, they're blocking their view. You'll see little signs. And this is where you'll get with those people, because these narcissists, if you say something to them and over time, and then they start to know that you're the one calling on them or something, they'll start doing things to antagonize you more, and sometimes even confront you or talk out loud in front of friends and family, because that's when they feel their toughest. And you'll, if they say you did anything, you'll have relationships with other people, and you can, if these people get together and it's more of them, you can say, hey, I have my neighbor's phone number right here, or you can go and walk and talk to them, and they'll tell you it's the same issue, it's the same problem. And once you do that, nothing that these people say in their little crack house will be credible to the police. And now this house will be flagged as a house where there's drug addicts, a whole bunch of suspicious activity. It will be one of those homes that are flagged, that the police basically knows that there's always altercation. There's always something sketchy going on in this home, and think twice before believing whatever these people are saying, having to do a thorough investigation, because these are the type of people that just lie and make up things, and they think that they're privileged even though they're living like dogs. So I hope that this message was helpful, for you guys, and also for you to understand when you befriend certain people, pay attention to their home, pay attention to the people in and out their home, pay attention to what type of people they are, pay attention to how they treat their neighbors, pay attention to, the circle, the company these people keep, their goals, and just who they are as people, because some of these people pretend to be really nice, but they're nothing but gossipers. They're just sitting around gossiping, and a lot of times they're the ones creating problems, because they have no manners, no nothing. They're a whole bunch of untrained savages that run off of emotion and create chaos sometimes. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. If you guys are new to my podcast and you guys enjoyed this podcast, do not forget to subscribe, like, share, comment down below. And if you guys want to book a session with me, my booking information will be on the description. Just give me about 24 hours to respond to you, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.